Stop looking to Etsy for ideas of what to sell. Today, I'm going to teach you what the best things to sell on Etsy are, and these are 5 trends that are not yet on the Etsy platform. Now, if you followed me for a while, you know that Etsy is one of the last places to get trends. By the time something is trending on Etsy, you are 6 to 8 months too late. Instead, we want to look outside of Etsy, identify those trends, and bring them to the platform. And that is what my entire background is in. I studied buying and product development, and I was a buyer for some huge companies like Zappos and Zulily. So today I'm going to gift you 5 trends that are not yet saturated on Etsy that you can incorporate into your shop. No matter what your category is, you can incorporate these trends. You don't even necessarily have to change your products to make your products more trendy. You can simply elevate the mock-ups and the setting that your products are pictured in. All right, the first trend is 50 shades of purple. Now we're not going with Barney purple and we're not going with like pinky baby purple. We're going with more elevated, sophisticated tones. So here we're going with kind of a purple gingham look, and it's an all-over pattern. So if you do seamless patterns, this would be great. It is more of a cool tone, almost like a periwinkle with a true purple. Here we're going very sophisticated. Now this is very Pottery Barn. I think this type of pattern would look great on home decor, notebooks, journals. This would also be beautiful on little pouches, or even like a border or frame on stationery or other digital products. Here we are kind of combining the toile trend from last year with the lavender trend. Now this is more of a white and purple, but the way it has kind of a watercolor look to it makes that background look actually like kind of like a light purple. You can see it's not exactly white. When I say 50 shades of purple, it doesn't mean that multiple shades of purple have to be on the same product. You could simply be putting the shades next to each other. So you could maybe have, let's say, 4 sweatshirt color options, and 2 of those sweatshirts are different shades of purple, a light and a dark, and you could show them both in the same mock-up. So you haven't necessarily created a product that has multiple shades of purple on it, but you are combining different products in your shop, putting them side by side, and accomplishing that elevated trend. Let's pretend that this person was selling silk flower stems, and those are white carnations, fake flowers, and that's what they're selling. Let's say they wanted to go after this 50 shades of purple trend. They could do that through the vessel that the flower is in, picturing it in a trendy way by putting it in different vases that are shades of purple. So remember, you don't have to change your product necessarily to do these trends. You could just change the context. Now this one doesn't show multiple shades of purple, but it does show this lavender tone that we're going to be seeing so much of, so I had to include it. And this is kind of a drenched look. We're seeing that in interior design, drenching a room, color drenching, where the baseboards, the ceiling, the walls are all one color. So I love a good set. We're seeing that with denim too. We're also going to be seeing a lot of multiple shades of lavender through tie-dye, so keep an eye on that. And here's a very subtle example where you have 2 shades of purple, and that is where you have 2 different materials, that one is reflective, one is not, and it can make the shades, even if they're very, very, very similar, it can make them look different. Let's say it's a lavender linen pillow, and then maybe you're doing a lavender ribbon trim on it. Maybe they're very, very, very close in color, but the different textures and sheens are making them look like slightly different shades. And this is kind of the effect we're getting with this backpack. Here, we're actually seeing it combined with a red, which is a little bit unexpected, kind of for a 90s look. But this you can see again with the purple. Here, we have like a cooler violet piping on more of a warm purple neoprene. Here, we're seeing color blocking with lavender, again, different materials. And this, I had to include this because it's the seashell trend from a year ago, now with the lavender tones, kind of unexpected. Here again, we're accomplishing multiple shades of purple by combining different textures. So we're seeing a corduroy and then more of like a chino type of look combined. Even though the shades are almost identical, it looks like a 2-tone look because of the texture. So you can achieve a 2-tone effect by combining 2 textures of the same color as well. Keep that in mind. If you're doing vintage, when you are sourcing, look for light lavender accents on things. If you are in digital, incorporate lavenders and maybe 2 tones of purple as an accent color. If you are doing hand-picked, you can absolutely incorporate this as a main pop of color in your gift boxes. For sourced, especially if you're going to do special makeups with supplies, which is where the supplier custom makes a specific color for you, request these popular kind of chalky light lavenders. And then in handmade and print on demand, consider incorporating purple as a color option in your variations. Here we're seeing it with the stripe, very subtle. We're seeing it kind of the 2-tone look again, combining different textures, more of a crochet lace look with a more of a linen. And then here we see this in wallpaper. This would be great on wrapping paper, wallpaper, shower curtains within the print-on-demand digital space. And then we're seeing it in items that are maybe unexpected, like socks. The next trend is a fun one. And we got to be careful here because we don't want to violate any trademark situations, but it is fake branded stuff. Fake branded stuff. Yes, it's a trend. You're basically putting something that looks like a brand's label onto traditional functional products. Here is a little pouch with clearly, what is this, like medicine on it? Again, Advil, right? They have agreements with these companies. So you cannot do that. Here it is on a vase. Again, you cannot have a real brand on there, but you could make up your own fake looking label, put it on there. So this is like a vase or a teapot. You could see here just on kind of ceramic dishes. These look like labels, like perfume bottle labels or jar labels. Here, again, like a toothbrush holder. This is so classic. Can you believe that we ate these out of the little plastic sheets? I cannot believe we ate these, right? So classic, kind of 90s inspired. We're also seeing like butter packaging on things. You can see more of a duffel bag that looks like a stick of butter. We're seeing it on the socks. This is clever, a pencil pouch. And here's like a magazine on these vases. So again, you're making up your own. You're not going to write Vogue. Maybe you write Rogue. You have to be creative. Here's a word search kind of puzzle book. It looks like one of those books you'd pick up at the airport, and it's a vase. So it's a functional product. Carton of milk turned into a vase, a can of lemonade turned into a vase. And honestly, I think the hand-picked category and the vintage category are great for this. Something that looks like a can of tomatoes as a candle. And then this is definite like trademark violation if you are not having an arrangement with that brand. But the idea of like a Tide laundry detergent bottle as a vase in your art. So with digital wall art, you could absolutely do this, but you have to make your own branded looking labels on things. So I love the idea of creating kind of fake brands, fake labels, putting them on functional products. You can absolutely apply this to digital, POD, handmade, handpicked, and then when you are doing vintage, source specifically for things that look like this. Now, I don't like to ask this, but if you noticed my YouTube channel was actually hacked, they went live on my channel, got it shut down, I could use a little help right now. Guys, please subscribe if you like trend videos, if you like weekly Etsy update videos to help you grow your business. It's totally free for you to watch my videos. So if you could hit subscribe, that would mean so much to me. Now, the next trend is a new take on color blocking, and this is disproportionate color blocking. This is a kind of a spin off of the hand-drawn line trend that I spotted last year, where it's kind of a raw, organic, artisan feel. It's like intentional imperfection. So we're not doing perfect color blocking, we're doing imperfect color blocking or disproportionate color blocking. Here's an example of that, and you can do this in all categories. You can see the pattern. It has like squares, long rectangles, longer rectangles, medium rectangles, smaller rectangles, and nothing is the same size. Okay, these rows of blocks are all different sizes. We're seeing it again here. This is the perfect example. I love this for any items that do well with repeating patterns like wallpaper, wrapping paper, shower curtains, blankets, even rugs you could do this with. And see how it is in imperfect. It's disproportionate color blocking. It's not too perfect. It's not cookie cutter. We see this here on a pillow. Great example. Disproportionate color blocking. It really breaks up the pattern. Same thing on the footwear, right? Different sections, different bands, different widths, all of that. On the towel, we see this as well. So towels, blankets, pillows, those are great products to do this on. Here we're seeing it on pants, so we're even seeing it on apparel, unexpected shapes and cutouts. Tea towels. Tea towels is another one people forget about when you're doing print on demand. It's such a great product. You can see even the thicknesses of those stripes and blocks are all very different. Again, on a clipboard, you could do this with sublimation, where maybe you're doing acrylic with a laser. Color blocking like this can really elevate things, but it's so disproportionate. It's so organic and raw, intentionally imperfect. Now, the next trend is a fun one, and this is something you can incorporate in all categories, and it is the trend of flowers plus text. That is the equation, flowers plus text. Here's what it looks like. Here's an example of a frame with a flower in it and then text around it. Sometimes the text is English, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is maybe French. Is this French? It's kind of creating a very complete design. And we're seeing this on very practical items like a frame, or here we see it on a vase where we have flower market in English and then kind of a bouquet or basket of flowers underneath it. Here we see it on wall art where it's more of that kind of stamp look where you have the floral kind of stamp graphic and then the text underneath. Here's another version of it where maybe it's the name of the flower type kind of behind it, so it's a layered look. And keep in mind, when you're doing wall art, especially if it's digital, always incorporate trends into the types of frames you're using. Incorporate trends into the decor and the furniture, in the background, and the lighting that's around that wall art. Okay, here is a digital version and it's shown in kind of a repeating pattern type of way. And here we're seeing it on a very practical item, an actual rug, which print-on-demand rugs can be some of the highest average order value items to do in print-on-demand. Here we're seeing it on a vase with pansies, and then it almost looks like a seed packet. That's another thing that you could use as a source of inspiration, seed packets, like spring garden mix. We're seeing it on totes. Totes are an easy one to do. Now with this, you can see it's more of going the biology or scientific route, where it has kind of the garden or the different flowers and then the label for what each flower is around it. We've seen a lot of that when it comes to birds, especially on things like tea towels. We've seen this with butterflies, different types of butterflies, dogs. Now the next trend is something I'm very excited about. Vintage people should be super excited about this one, by the way. If you do hand-picked, sourced, handmade, this one should be pretty easy for you to do as well. But this trend is copper and brass details. We are seeing a lot of copper and brass kind of replacing gold, which replaced rose gold, and we're moving more into that copper and brass era. So here you can see it's in a planter. Maybe instead of the little succulent you include being in a terracotta little pot, it is in a brass little pot. Here we're seeing this on kind of plates and chargers. Let's say you sell digital products. Let's say you sell digital invitations or wedding invitations. You could absolutely put that wedding invitation or wedding program or dinner menu on a plate like that, and this could be your mock-up. A trend does not have to be changing your product. It could be changing the context that your product is in. We're seeing this with candle holders. Again, with candle holders, this is more of a vintage aged look. Here we're seeing it with salt and pepper, and this is kind of a combination of brass and a copper look together, which is an interesting combo, the duality of that. We're seeing this with little like spoons, measuring spoons, a lot of kitchenware we're seeing this with as well. Different maybe holders for the kitchen. So like utensil holders, counter decor, even in kind of the cocktail realm, right? We saw the alcohol trend last year. Also bathrooms, so kitchens and bathrooms. Think about anywhere you have hardware and think about how you could incorporate brass and copper into those spaces. Let's say you sell like organic soaps or something. You could totally incorporate these into a gift box with your soaps. Also in the garden, so you could do the little picks in the ground, or you could even do like memorial stakes for like a pet loss memorial garden stake. A little cross maybe in copper or brass would be beautiful as well. Again, with like pictures. So anything related to events or hosting people, entertaining people is great with this trend. Little canisters, you could use those in the bathroom, in the kitchen. So these are a great item. And this is more of like that hammered look. So we're seeing both smooth and hammered. Hardware, any type of hardware. If you are a shop that sells kitchen hardware, I mean, knobs, drawer pulls, that is extremely lucrative, by the way, if you didn't know that. Start to incorporate some of these copper and brass trends. Again, bathroom decor, mirror handles, little containers, little trays. Anytime you can incorporate that kind of copper look, what is that, a casserole kind of dish? Anytime you can incorporate copper planters, we love seeing that. So let's say you sell wooden laser engraved spoons, mixing spoons. You could do that like we have here, and you could simply put them in a copper vessel. So again, you do not have to change your products. You could simply tell Nano Banana, hey, put this in a copper vessel instead. Boom, you didn't have to do anything except for one little prompt and your photo is changed and you've incorporated a trend. It is so easy. And that's why I believe there's no reason to have an outdated looking Etsy shop, because even if you don't sell the trend, you can use the trend to elevate your current products. I truly hope these 5 trends have inspired you. Please leave a comment below and let me know which one is your favorite and which one you're going to try. And if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel so that you are notified when I put out new trend videos and new Etsy videos to help you grow your business. All right, I'll see you in the next one.